Okay. We're in. We're set. We're good. Oh, Lord, here we go. All right. I'll take that. That's good. Hey, Red. Hey, Red. Hey, baby. How you doing? Grand Rising. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. How you doing, love? I'm a little late today. I was supposed to be on at 6 o'clock. It's okay. What are we? 20 minutes behind? That's all right. We all right. Gotta wait for some people to come in. Come in, come in, come in, come in, come in. I should have cut a little arrow in here. Let me get myself together. So many things I want to talk about today, God. I'm trying to just pick one. Hey, Diamond. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Butterfly. Ooh, I love it. Hey, girl. Look, it's time for metamorphosis, too, so I love it. Hey, Demetrius Martin. Hey, hey, hey. Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Come on in, guys. Come on in. Let me know how you guys are doing. Y'all are always so quiet. I say this every time I get on live. I know I get to talking a lot, but I absolutely want to know how you guys are doing. Hey, Baddie for life. Hey, girl. Hey. Grand Rising, Grand Rising, Grand Rising. I know I'm a little late. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Hey, Mari. Hey, Marty. Hey, girl. Hey, Moonpie. Hey, girl. Hey, Blessed Queen. Okay, look at my girls. Where y'all been? Moonpie, where you been? I've not seen you in a minute. Where have you been, sis? I've been looking for you. I just posted a video here the other day from us on that live on YouTube. How you doing, mama? Hey, T baby. Hey, girl. Hey. Let me stop hollering. Y'all know I get excited. Like I said, I know I'm a little bit late, but we here. Hey, Pretty on Purpose. Oh, I love it. I love the names. Okay, come on, names. I hope everybody's having an amazing day. First of all, let me say that I absolutely am. But you know me, I make it my business to have a good day every day on purpose, right? Because that's my business, and we absolutely have the power to do so, right? Went through a major shift. I've been watching the recaps when I can. You went through a major shift? Because I know I'm going through a major shift. It's that time though. We are in the season right now of acceleration, right? This year is a year of momentum like we've never experienced before. Things are going to be moving so fast. So I absolutely know that I'm walking into a new timeline, but I'm walking in it on purpose. You hear me? And I'm so excited. So if you are experiencing this, listen, I'm sending all positive vibes your way because it's a lot. Anytime you have to shift from one timeline to another is a lot. I don't care if you're ready or not. It is a lot. Why? Because you're having to let go of some version, some piece, something that you are currently doing to walk into a higher timeline, right? And how can that be easy when you done got all nice and comfortable where you at? Do you hear me? So I just talked about this. Spirit will always require you to go up. This is a part of ascension, right? So get into it. Get used to it. Hey, Sophia. Hey, Stitch Lover. How you doing, my love? Of course, I can shout you out. How you doing, baby? Grand Rising. I hope you're having an amazing day. I'm sending nothing but peace, prosperity, lights, love, hugs, healing, all the beautiful vibes you all's way. I'm so glad you all are here today. I am super excited. I didn't think I was going to make it today. Look, I was a little tired. I was a little tired. And I said, nope. Let's go. You have a commitment. I told you guys every Tuesday at 6 o'clock. So here we are. It's a little past 6, but that's okay because we're still in here. Hey, Antoinette. Hey, Jessica. Hey, baby. So listen. Last week we talked about what? We talked about what did we talk about last week? Hold on, let me get myself together. What the heck did we talk about last week, y'all? Hold on, let me think a minute. See, I got too excited. Last week we talked about, hold on, I can tell you. Give me a second. What the heck did we talk about last week, y'all? Let me see. What did we talk about last week, God? Please bring it back to my spirit here. What did we talk about last week? Last week we talked about, I can't catch it right now. I guess I'm going to have to come back to it. But we're going to jump. What did we talk about last week? Because that's going to irk my soul. What did we talk about? Where's my book? I didn't bring it in here. See, I got all these books. What the heck did we talk about last week, y'all? I can't catch it. What was it? I can't think about it right now. It'll come to me. So this week, though, I wanted to... What did we talk about last week? It's not going to let me move on, y'all. Wait a minute. Let me figure it out right quick because I want to piggyback off of that. Who was on live last week? What did we talk about last week? I'm trying to get it. I can't get it. Hey, Franchise Eyes. How you doing, baby? First of all, I'm trying to figure out what we talked about last week, but I guess it's going to have to come back to me. Loving yourself, is that what we talked about? It's going to have to come back to me. So I know that one of the things, though, that what I was trying to express to you last week was about, I was going to talk to you about going into the season of solitude. I know what we talked about last week. We talked about the 5 steps to actually connecting to spirit. That's what we talked about. I gave you the 5 steps on connecting to spirit, on how to get into alignment, okay? Now, so I was going to get into the season of solitude, which I know a lot of us are probably currently sitting in, right? You're always going to go through those seasons of solitude. But Spirit gave me a little side note here, so I want to talk about this real quick because a lot of the times when we are trying to connect with Spirit, right, we are trying to get into alignment, there is some information that we need to be privy to, right? To understand exactly what all we're diving into, right? And so one of the things that I want to talk about today is a lot of the times when you find yourself on this spiritual journey, right? What happens is, how do you get here? You had a call, right? Spirit called you. You had that feeling, right? In your spirit, your intuition, the Holy Spirit, right? You felt that fire. Whatever it is, though, you had a knowing, a sensing, a feeling of this is how you got to this place here. And a lot of the times, like I've been that I've been telling you about, is it's hard to, first of all, take direction from spirit because spirit is not physically here. Spirit is in the spiritual realm. And so a lot of the things that spirit is going to be giving you and showing you are not going to be yet tangible, right? You have to bring them down to the spiritual realm. Now, I say all this to say a lot of the times when you get this call from spirit, what do we know? Many are called, but few are chosen, right? So you have to understand, and I want you to take this seriously. When spirit is calling you, you're being called for a reason, okay? Let me say that first. You're absolutely being called for a reason. It is your responsibility to discern and decipher what the reason is. And the only way for you to begin to discern and decipher is you have to get comfortable with the communication of spirit, right? You have to get comfortable with communicating with spirit. You have to get comfortable knowing what this looks like. If you don't know what communicating with spirit looks like, all day long you are missing what? Your signs, your wonders, your messages, your downloads, etc. Okay, that's a side note. Now, the thing about having a calling on your life is A lot of the times when spirit is calling you, when God is calling you, when the universe is calling you, whatever it is that you believe in is calling you, this is because there is a calling on your life. You may be the person chosen to break the generational change, cycles, bondages, and chains off of your family. Okay? So that's what we're going to talk about today. Today we're going to talk about breaking generational chains, bondages, cycles, and curses off of your life, okay? I know that a lot of people do not know what this is. Not only do you not know what this is, you absolutely don't know how to do it. And so today, this is what we're going to talk about, okay? Hey, Sally Sarah. Hey, Finno. Hey, oh. Hey, I'm going to just say, hey, Finno. Hey. So listen, first of all, you have to understand what a generational cycle is, okay? And I'm going to tell you, a generational cycle is a specific pattern that is deposited into the family whereby the family members will be more predisposed to repeat because of heightened exposure to it. Let me read that one more time for the people in the back. A generational cycle is a specific pattern that is deposited, meaning deposited into you. It's in you now because it's coming from your ancestors and the previous energies that have been dwelling here before you even got here. This is what energy is. So that energy is now deposited into you, whereby the other family members have been more predisposed to it. So what happens is, since that's what they were exposed to, you will continue to repeat this thing over and over and over again. This is where your mindset comes from. Your belief system right now, part of your belief system comes from what your ancestors and the people before you went through. Because what do we know about life? Life is nothing but one experience after another. And depending on the experiences you had in your life are going to make up the current mindset that you set in. What happens is, our ancestors, we already know the things that they went through, the things that were going on in the world back then were not the best. So you can only imagine the mindset that they were living under. Okay, you think our mindset is limited. Can you imagine your mindset back then? So what happens is, whatever mindset that you dwell in, this is what you teach to your children, and then your children teach to their children, and so on and so forth and so on and so forth. Are you with me? Are y'all with me? So what that means is, like I just said, a lot of things that you sit in, a lot of your belief systems, a lot of your characteristics, a lot of your personality traits derive from pre-existing energy. So what happens is, now we find ourselves sitting in 2025 stuck under generational change, bondages, cycles, and curses that have been just going from one generation to another. And the reason we currently sit under these strongholds, bondages, chains, and cycles, etc., is because nobody up until now has broken these off of your life, off of your bloodline, off of the family lineage. So let's talk about it right quick. We have generational chains. What is a chain? A chain is a device that is used to do what? To tie you up, to keep you in place, to keep you from moving, to keep you bonded. And what is bondage? Generational bondage is you being stuck in one place. You being stuck in a certain place, not being able to move freely. And when we talk about stuck, we talking about your mind, because we know that your mind controls everything, right? So now you're stuck in under generational change. You got generational change. You got generational bondages. Not only that, you have generational curses, What is a curse? A curse is a solemn utterance intended to invoke a supernatural power to inflict harm or punishment on someone or something. So what this means is somebody has spoken something over your life, not only over, but into your life. And now that energy, you reside under that energy. A generational cycle. What is a cycle? A cycle is a circle. So you being stuck in a generational cycle means you're not doing nothing but having the same experience over and over and over again. No matter what day, no matter what time you get up, you know that you are going to experience the same thing over and over and over again. Why? Because that cycle has not been broken. Now, this is where strongholds come in, okay? Now, I don't know if you know, but a stronghold is a place where a particular cause or belief is strongly defended or upheld by a person, and that person being you. The thing about a stronghold is you have to be careful, because what happens is something will happen in your life and it'll send you into a certain emotional state. And what happens is when that emotion, when that energy emotion becomes a feeling, you now have allowed that feeling to become a spirit, and that spirit now is running your vessel. Because we know that there's nothing, any thought that you have is coming from either the light or the dark. We already know this. This is why you're supposed to be the observer of your thoughts. This is why before you believe a thing, you're supposed to observe it first, because you do not know where that thought is dwelling from. And just because you think a thing absolutely does not mean it's true. But as soon as you believe that thought, then that means you have allowed that energy that was swirling around you, looking for a place to land, not only land on you, but you've allowed it now to get up in you, into your belief system, into your soul system. And now you have created a whole energy, and that energy is now controlling you. This is all life is. Life is nothing but experience after experience caused by energy after energy. Let me say it like that. This is why your life is what you think, feel, and believe about yourself. That's all your life is. That is it. I know it looks complicated and it looks difficult, right? And it's a whole lot of all day long and a whole lot of chaos and all these things. But this is because you're not in alignment. So, with this being said, you have to understand that with these generational cycles, change, bondages, and curses swirling around, what do you think is happening? They're just bouncing around, not only from you, but from your mother to your father, to your cousin, to your sister, to your brother, to your children. This is all that is happening all day long. This is where the family dynamics come in, because all it is old energy, new, and that's all it is. Why do you think your family know how to press your buttons so quick? Right? Not only that, why do you think it's so easily also for your family to be able to take you down and pull you back when you get into this space of spiritual awakening and all these things? That is old energy, old residual pent up energy, and a lot of it is negative. Not only that, they don't have the understanding. They've not set in the conscious place that you sit at. So all these things that you're doing to them, it looks crazy. Not only crazy, they're going to call it wrong, evil, and all kinds of things, because they do not understand it. This is why you are the one chosen to break these things off of your family. Nobody up to this point has been able to rise up in consciousness to the place that you are, to have the understanding that you have, to set these people free. Every experience that you have is what? Is how you gain your knowledge and your wisdom. The problem is when you don't gain that knowledge and that wisdom from that experience that you just went through, you have to go through it again until you learn that lesson. This is what the cycle is. This is what the bondage is. This is where the chains are. This is where the curses are. Not only that, let me say this about this curse thing. You got to be careful on what you speak out of your mouth. I've already told you this. Not only on what you speak, but what you allow people to speak around you, over you, and into you. When it comes to these babies here, stop talking to these children any kind of way. Stop just saying anything to these babies. Every time you say something, you're speaking over these children's life. You are shaping their future. That's where the bondage and the cursing comes in. The life and death is in the power of your tongue. And I'm telling you now, your tongue is a two-edged sword. You have to be mindful of what you speak and what you allow to be spoken over and to you. Words have power, baby. All you have is words. Words is the main form of communication that humans use. So all you doing all day long is speaking curses and life or death. That's all that's happening all day long. This is why I don't just sit up and just talk to anybody and do all these things. No, absolutely not. You have to be careful not only how you dispersing your energy, but what energy you allowing to come your way. Stop talking to these children any kind of way. You got to start speaking life into these babies. Not only into these babies, but into yourself. If you have to go, and this is where affirmations and things come through again. You're not going to see the things that God sees in you, the things that Spirit sees in you, until you begin to get your internal state together. That is, you're not going to see anything on the external until that internal gets into alignment. So you're absolutely going to have to be able to see before you see. And that is what? Another part of you walking in faith, right? Hey, Mickey. Hey, Indigo. Hey, Marcus. Hey, Esperanza. How you guys doing? I hope everybody's doing so good today. Now, let's go a little deeper. There is going to be a cycle breaker, okay? Now, let's talk about who is the cycle breaker? What is a cycle breaker? What does that look like? The cycle breaker is the person who broke the cycle by rising in consciousness and getting into alignment. Being able to discern and decipher, being able to communicate with spirit, being able to take direction and instruction from a higher power, to be disciplined and obedient, to be aware, mindful, and intentional. This is what the cycle breaker has. These are the characteristics of the cycle breaker. These are the characteristics that you have to possess. Now, the thing about it is, you may not possess some of these characteristics right now, and that's okay. This is why you're going to have to go through that season of solitude and this go into the wilderness and all these things here. This is where your surrender and your shadow work and all these things come in, right? Because you're going to go in and alchemize and transmute energies and turn them into gold and turn them into your powers here. So that's okay if you do not possess these characteristics at this moment, okay? They're absolutely coming, but you have to cultivate them, right? You have to create the breeding ground for them to grow so you can begin to use them. This is what this journey is, okay? So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. How now I've given you the info, the insight to kind of be able to identify, right, if you are this generational cycle breaker, chain breaker. Now we're going to talk about how you actually break these cycles. Now, a little side note I want to put into here, because I know when I started my journey, right, I did not know who I was. I had no idea. I've just discovered who I was 4 years ago. I just started walking in my purpose, right? But I do know that I had a sister. This is my little sister right here. I had two siblings. It was me, my brother, my sister, my mom. Now, what I can tell you is we were the black sheep of the family, okay? We were like, that's it. It wasn't we were like, we were it. We were the black sheep on the family. We were always on the outside looking in. We were always the ones treated differently, the bottom of the barrel, and this and this and that. And let me tell you this, how did I fall into that? Because my mom and my dad were drug addicts, and the things that they were doing and the lifestyle that they were living. So what happened? They shadow automatically fell on us. So the people treated us like they did my parents. You see what I'm saying? That's where that generational thing, this is how the generational cycles and chains work. They just fall down from one person to another. So this is what I'm saying. You born into these things you didn't even ask for. Your life is running off of these energies that are embedded in you that you had absolutely no control over. So this is why I tell you all the time, especially if your life is very chaotic and you've gone through a lot, you have to be mindful of this. You have to understand this, because a lot of things you sit up blaming yourself for, and they're not your fault at all. You can only do what you know to do. And what do you know to do? What somebody else has taught and showed you, because you've not yet awakened. You've not yet discovered who you truly are. So you currently reside off of the pre-existing energies of whatever forces that you've allowed and accepted into your vessel, into your heart, into your mind, into your soul here. This is how people get stuck in that survival and existing. This is where lost souls come in. A lost soul is a person who cannot connect with their soul. Did y'all know that? That's what a lost soul is. That it can't get into alignment. It's stuck in the external. It cannot, a person who is lost cannot tap into themselves. This is all that is. So like I said, growing up, I had a label on me, right? This is where labels come from. What do you want? Hold on, guys.
Do you have battery?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I didn't cover the whole camera up. Okay, so like I said, we were already considered like the black sheep of the family. I already had a label on me. People was already looking at me sideways, and I hadn't even done anything yet. So what happens when you vibrating off of that energy? People already have a preconceived notion over you. So what do? 9 times out of 10, you just fall into line. You do what the people expect you to do. Very rarely do you have one or a few that don't fall into that expected pattern, that expected behavior, those expected activities of themselves in situations like that, especially when it's coming from adolescence. Hey, James Tank, I'm doing so good, my love. How are you doing, baby? I'm so happy you're here. That boy said you stay speaking sense. Well, that's all I have to do. I only get on here to speak sense and life into you. That is my purpose here. I'm happy you're here. I'm happy you made it. Tuesday, 6 o'clock. Okay. So I had one sister. Like I said, I had a sister. And so me and my brother, we fell into We fell into the cycle and chains and bondages. You know, I got out there when I was 11. I've been out there since I was 11 in the streets, living the fast life, doing the drugs, doing the things, doing everything the people expected me to do, everything the people spoke over my life. You see what I'm talking about here? All them utterances that the people spoke, all them curses, they was working. They had me bound. I was in chains. I couldn't move. I was totally in the cycle, in the heart of it, in the beat of it. Not only that, I was more vulnerable to it because I was so young. What does it say? You shape the babies while they're young. So, oh God, it was, you hear me? They was just, ooh, getting all up and through my, just all up in my DNA. It's the truth. I don't stop watching your shorts. Oh, James, I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you so much for your support. I love my peeps. I love my soul tribe. I love y'all more than y'all know it. I'm telling you now. That's why I get on here and be so passionate. Somebody was watching one of my videos the other day, and my friend messaged me, and she's like, somebody said you sound angry. No, I'm not angry. I'm passionate. Because why? I'm here to snatch your soul. That's what I'm here for. And a lot of the times, passion does, people feel like passion comes off as anger. No, I'm not angry at all, but I do want you to feel me, right? To feel where I'm coming from here. I've been fasting for 4 months now. Yay! I know you've been seeing some amazing things. It's a beautiful things that happen in the fast. You know, I'm sitting right now in a 40-day to be I'm sitting in a 40-day here right now, right? I was talking about it last week. I don't know if y'all were on last week, but you know, I was talking about how Spirit has had it so heavy on my heart to do a 40-day fast, right? We know 40 days, 40, the number 40 is the strongest test and trial in the Bible, right? In 40 is a number, whether it was 40 days or 40 years, but the number is 40. And so that's very powerful. So I'm telling you now, if you're being called to fast, you feel like you're being called to fast, try it. Now the thing about this is a side note. I'm coming back to the lesson in a minute. The thing about fasting is people think you only fast food. That is not true. You can fast whatever you want to fast. You can fast from social media. You can fast from those bad habits, the things you know you're not supposed to be doing, things you're supposed to be setting down. But the key of a fast is set yourself up for failure. Don't try to do some crazy fast that when you've never even fasted. This is not doing nothing but setting yourself up for failure, and you giving yourself a reason to revert when you get up there and don't make it. And I see through all that. Okay, you can't play those kind of games with me. So make sure that you're setting yourself up for failure, and you're setting yourself up to something that is actually attainable, and you work your way up. Right? This is the whole part of this journey. Working your way up, or either titrating down. And that means letting something go. Okay? But you have to build a momentum. Right? It's all about building a momentum. This is the other thing about this journey. Let me say this. This is your journey. This is your life. This is your vessel. You know how to handle this vessel better than anybody else. So when it comes to this fasting, when it comes to making the changes in your life, you do them in a way and in a fashion that makes sense to you. That not only makes sense to you, but in a way that you know that when you get to when you set these goals, that you're absolutely going to be able to accomplish them. I'm going to tell you, I suffered with many addictions. Listen, I've done a lot of things. PILLS. I've done white stuff. Listen, inhaled things. All kinds of things. And all the things that I let go of, I let go on my own. I've never been to a rehab or anything like that. I broke them on my own. So this is another part about this journey, like I said, and I don't think a lot of people realize it. You absolutely have the power to do this. Give yourself the time, space, and grace that you need. You know what you've done to this vessel, and you know how to take it away. The thing about it is if you want to accept responsibility or not for doing the work. And this is a little, I'm going off track here, but that's okay. As well, he showed me a couple things. I bet. I know it. I know it. There's beautiful information out here. There's so many people giving out beautiful, beautiful knowledge and wisdom. We just have to be able to see it. What was I finna tell you here? Ooh. What did I want to tell you here? I lost it. God darn it. See, I get so... It'll come back. What was it? I don't know. It'll come back. It'll come back. Okay, so now let's talk about how to actually... Girl, let me go back. You see? Let me go back to my story. Now, what I was trying to tell you guys was... I was labeled, like I said, I fell into that category of the strongholds and bondages or whatever, and I wasn't strong enough to fight them, right? So you have my mom, my brother, my sister, and myself. Well, me and my brother, like I said, we fell. We didn't make it. But my sister here, she made it. Do you hear me? She didn't partake in any other shenanigans. She didn't partake in the fast life. She didn't do the drug. You know, she didn't hang out in the street. She just totally was able to bypass and automatically just soar, right? She dwelled in a higher level of consciousness from a very young age. Like I said, she made it out. She made it out. So in my mind, I always thought that my sister was the one who had broken the generational cycles, chains, and bondages and all these things, right? I thought she was a chain breaker. I thought she was the one, you know, setting the tone for the family. And like I'm saying, you know, up there slaying all these dragons and stuff. It wasn't until Spirit showed me that the only way for you to be a generational chain breaker, cycle breaker, curse breaker, bondage is to have been in the cycle. How can you break a cycle if you've never been in it? And that was my light bulb moment. I never knew that. That never even crossed my mind. So that's when Spirit slowly but surely began to show me what a cycle was, the chain, the bondages was. And again, that the only way for you to break a cycle is to be in the cycle. So my sister could not have been the chain breaker. She could not have been the chosen one. Do you see what I'm saying? You had to be in it to break out of it. And so this is how I got into the position that I'm in now. This is how I got online here now. This is how we got here now. So that's a little side note. You can't be the bondage breaker, the cycle breaker, unless you were in it. Okay? Can I ask you a question, please? Of course you can ask me a question. You can always ask me a question. I'm here for questions. I love questions. So keep that in mind, okay? Now, the other thing about being this cycle breaker, this generational, also, I think I'm going to start, well, I'm not going to tell y'all my business. I'm going to save that. But anyway, you, first of all, you have to accept the job, right? Yes, Spirit has called you. You have to answer the phone, but you have to accept the job. Not only do you have to accept it, that means there are absolutely going to be some sacrifices and things that you have to make. You can absolutely believe that your life now is not going to be looking like everybody else's. You can absolutely expect for Spirit to hold you now at a higher regard. You can absolutely expect now for you to be the only one experiencing certain things that you're experiencing. And a lot of those things are going to be in the form of trial, tests, and storms. Because now you've identified yourself as the generational chain bondage curse breaker. But now Now, spirit has to finish conditioning you. Spirit has to finish molding and shaping you to get you to that final place where you can absolutely walk, live, and breathe in purpose. Okay? The reason for these storms, the reason for these tests and these trials are going to be, like I said, this is your final, think of it as your final molding, your final lessons. Now, I'm going to let you know this right now, being that you are in that stretch, right? These things are going to be big. You think you faced some trials, adversities, and challenges back there. You ain't seen nothing yet. And they're only getting bigger because you're walking into a big space. You're walking into a big responsibility. God, Spirit, the universe has to know that you are going to be able to not only uphold but withstand. Because at some point, you are going to become unstoppable, unshakable, unmovable, unwavering. But you got to be built up to this point. Okay? So, the first way to begin now, we've identified, right, that you are it. You are this beautiful light. You are the generational chain bondage cycle breaker, right? You the spiritual gangster. You're the one that God has chosen. Not only that God, Spirit, the universe has chosen, but you've accepted the job. That's another level, right? That takes you to another level. You're no longer ignoring the call. You done picked up the phone and finally said hello. The first step into breaking these patterns is going to be, the first thing is, I'm going to say is, it's two things I want to say first, but I guess the first thing I'm going to say is just that acknowledging. That acknowledging that you are it. That's number one. The next thing is going to be is to consciously, because now you have to consciously choose and decide that you are going to now walk in where Spirit is calling you to. It's not easy. I know it's not easy. I know it's not. I know I say it like it's easy. It's not. It's not. You gonna fight it. Your lower self is absolutely going to fight your higher self. You can absolutely expect an internal battle. You can absolutely expect for one day to be on this high momentum and to have it all together, and for that next day for you to want to throw the whole thing in the trash. This is a part of it. This is a part of that back and forth. So now the first thing is you're going to have, the third thing you're going to have to do now is you're going to have to acknowledge now your past patterns, habits, behaviors, belief system, your emotional system, your soul system. Everything right now is going to come up under the magnifying glass. You're going to have to now inspect every part of yourself. This is where now you're going to have to step outside of yourself and become that observer. This is the part where you're going to have to be able to step outside of yourself. The only way for you to be successful in this journey is, for one, you're going to have to face these hard truths, okay? I know you don't want to face them. Nobody does. But these hard truths are also a part of what's keeping you in these chains and bondages. It's already happened. It's already done. It is a part of the past. Let it go. Not only that, I know it looks ugly right now, but I'm going to tell you now, there's beauty in those ashes. And once you fully understand these situations and experiences that you've had, you will have a different appreciation for them. But you have to go into them. Okay? This is the only way for you to identify, because this is the thing. You got to identify, first of all, what's not allowing you to move. What is keeping you stagnant? What is keeping you tied up? What is keeping you in that place? What is keeping you in that relationship? What is keeping you in those habits? What is keeping you at that job? Whatever it is, what is keeping you there? There is a part of you, for whatever reason, that does not believe that you deserve better than. That's why you there. You got to go in yourself and figure that out. There is a glitch in your system. You got to figure that out first. You got to identify why you are not moving. Okay? And it may be more than one thing. Let's talk about that. It absolutely may be more than one thing. And if it is, that is okay. Don't be overwhelmed. You just start with one thing. Okay? So once you identify whatever it is, that blockage, that main blockage, you got to figure out how to make it move. You must figure out how to make that mountain move. You must understand that that giant is not bigger than you. You absolutely have the power to make it move. But how do you do that? Okay? That's going to take some introspection. That's going to take you going in and pulling up some things. That's going to take you having to look at those shadows. Once you begin to identify these things, once you find where they're at, because once you identify it, now you're going to have to find where it's at, because it may be over here. It may be down here. It may be up here. It may be in your heart. It may be in your... You got to go find where it's at and take it out and remove it. We already know removing things take time. If anybody knows, it's me. So when you begin your removal process, you make sure that you're giving yourself that grace. Grace is refinement of movement. Make sure that you're giving yourself that space. This is why this is your journey. This is why it's nobody else's business but your own. You do what you need to go in and get yourself together. This is you saving yourself. This is now a lifestyle. So there's no rush. You don't have to figure it all out today. Take it all out today. As long as you taking out a little bit every day and continuing to go in the forward motion and the upward motion, you are doing everything correctly. Yes, there's absolutely going to be things that come up along the way to try to make you feel, think, and believe that you're not doing things in the right way, that you're not going in the right way. But this is where your discernment and your deciphering comes in. Okay? Once you begin to identify these things, you're identifying your triggers, your patterns. Not only that, you're now setting limits and putting boundaries into place, right? You're letting go of attachments and distractions. This is where now all that stuff that you're removing, all these toxic things, all this pain, this guilt, this shame. Oh, all the things that you're now removing, you get to now replace these empty spaces with things that make you feel good, things that are going to raise up your vibration, words, affirmations, things that pour into you, things that build up your confidence. This is where you want to put these things in all those empty spaces. So you now start creating healthy boundaries. You now start creating healthy limitations. You now are in the space of being able to say no when you need to say no. You're now in a space to be able to see things from a higher perspective instead of this low vibrational place. You're now able to see and understand that your internal world absolutely creates your external world. You're now starting to understand that what you see is not it. Okay, so now you got to start seeking some support, some healthy support. Let me say this. Y'all know I know this. It's not a lot out there. I didn't have any. Hell, ain't hardly got none there. I didn't have any. When Spirit called me, when I answered the phone, when I decided to take my place and to go into my purpose and to learn these things and to do the alchemizing and the transmuting, and I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. If it was not for the intimate time that I spent with Spirit to get my spiritual communications skills up, if I didn't take the time to learn the spiritual laws and ways, if God didn't take the time to spend with me when I put myself in position and give me the signs and wonders and the downloads, I would not be sitting here today. So a lot of that support that you're wanting and you're needing is not going to come from anybody around you. I can tell you that now. A lot of your support is going to come from you going into your cocoon, you going into that season of solitude. I'm telling you, it looks lonely. You think you're going into the wilderness by yourself. You're absolutely not. It's so much. You got so many angels and spiritual listen, a team here ready to guide and download you, but you have to tap in. They can only take you so far. Right? So seek that support. Seek that support. And just, I can apologize. Like I said, I can apologize now because a lot of times you're not going to get it. And if you need that validation from others, if you're a person that need that, don't count on it. But look, right here, you can always come here. This is what I'm here for. You can always come here. This is what this space is for. You can always come here. If you need a little hug, I got you, baby. This is what I'm here for. Okay? But you got to make sure that you do find some way to support yourself. Okay? This is the only way for you to strengthen yourself. This is the only way for these skills and tools and things that you're learning to get stronger. Okay? And you're going to now consciously choose different behaviors and beliefs. This is you letting go of everything that your mama taught you, your daddy taught you. This is you letting go of all that pre-existing energy dwelling from our ancestors and our great-grandparents and all this stuff here. This is you stepping away from the program. This is you now unprogramming to reprogram. I'm going to tell you now, there's nothing learned. When I say unprogram and reprogram, all I mean is unlearn to relearn. To step away from the old and step into the new. A refresher. Okay? This is all this means. Because at the end of the day, you breaking these generational chains, bondage, cycles, is you ultimately fostering a healthier family dynamic. This is where family dynamics come in. I just told you that earlier. Everything your family does, it ain't nothing new under the sun. So that's why you say, oh, well, mama act just like so-and-so, or so-and-so acts just like so-and-so, because that's all they know. And again, if that's all you know, you can't do nothing better than you know. So this is you stepping outside of what you thought you knew to learn what you really know. And it's the stuff that's on the inside of you, okay? The whole point about this journey, the whole reason for this journey, the only reason for this journey is it's all about how you come out on the other side, okay? What you were able to part with in the growth, the final outcome will determine everything. It doesn't matter what you've gone through. It doesn't matter what you did yesterday. Hell, it doesn't even matter what you did earlier today, because it's already gone. And we don't worry about the past. Our only concern is the present and the future. So how you come out is on the other side is all that matters. Nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. So whenever you come up to a hard place, listen to me when I say this, because this is what happens. We get on this journey, and like I said, we get a good momentum, and we're doing good, and everything is good when it's good, right? When everything is falling into place and everything how it's going how you want it, well, then it's good, it's exciting. But then as soon as something that comes up along the way that detours your journey, you're so easy to give up and want to go back. So like I just told you now, you have to be expecting to face hard things in this part of this journey. The hard things, this is the testing and the trials, right? This is the weathering of the storm. The thing about mistakes this is the thing about mistakes. Hold on, guys. My thing's doing something over here. Ooh. So, think about like this. I've heard there's no such thing as mistakes, okay? There's no such thing as a mistake. What is a mistake? A mistake is when you do something wrong. There ain't no such thing as doing something wrong. Every time you do something wrong, you are learning. That is a learning process. So stop getting so easily detoured by these mistakes, or every time you think you failed or something. You didn't fail. Every time you fail, that's just letting you know you a step closer to getting to whatever it is you're trying to figure out. Every time you fail, you know that was not the right way and you need to try another way. That's the bottom line. Mistakes become experiences when lessons are learned and not repeated. Let me say that one more time. Mistakes become experiences when lessons are learned and not repeated. So if you made a mistake and what you call a mistake, you just didn't learn the lesson yet. So as soon as you learn the lesson, you will stop having that experience. Remember, life is nothing but a series of experiences after another. That's all life is. From the time you wake up in the morning to the time you go to sleep at night, that's all you're doing is having one experience or another. The thing about it is, depending on how you believe, feel, and think about yourself is going to determine the experiences that you have. If the experiences that you're having are not so great, then what does that mean? Your life is not that great. If you're able to believe, feel, and think beautiful things about yourself, have a high vibration, be able to be the observer, right? Be able to have a non-restricted mindset here, then what's going to happen? You are going to be having the most beautiful experiences of your life, which means what? You're going to have a beautiful life. Life is so much more complicated than it is, and it's only because you've not mastered life yet. You don't understand this thing called life. And so you got to start giving yourself more credit. Okay? Start giving yourself more credit than you've currently been doing. Understanding, right? This is a journey. Life is a journey. It is a beautiful journey that we're all taking. The end goal is absolutely to hold on, y'all, I need the tissue. You know, my kids come in my office and stuff is just not where I left it at here, God. Okay, well, can't find my tissue. But yeah, so like I was saying though, it's only complicated because you don't fully understand it. So the only way for you to fully begin to understand this thing that you call life is you got to start relearning. You got to start unprogramming to reprogram. Okay? Now, like I was saying, the whole part about being this generational chain breaker, being this person that has been chosen to do these beautiful things, this first major piece, you can absolutely expect to find yourself by yourself. You are absolutely going to go through a season of solitude, okay? Spirit, God is absolutely going to call you into the wilderness to where nobody is there but you and Spirit. Okay, so get ready for your season of solitude. And that's what we're going to talk about next week. I love you all. Have an amazing day. I thank you for getting on today. I absolutely hope to see each and every one of you next week. I'm so proud of us. If you have any questions, you already know. You can reach me on any of these platforms here. I'm on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. That inbox is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Stay your course. This is your time. Your time is now to take your power back. You got this. I love you guys. Enjoy your day. But what do I want you to absolutely do for the rest of your day? Bye-bye.